Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this, you've just spent a year halfway across the world, studying with monks in the mountains of Nepal, living a life of peace and simplicity. You're exhausted from a 20-hour flight, dreaming of your own bed. When you pull into your driveway and hear shovels, you rush to your backyard, and it's not your garden anymore, it's a graveyard. Strangers are digging holes, planting headstones, and some power-tripping HOA president is smirking at you, claiming your land isn't yours anymore. Oh, but it gets crazier. Buried under your tool shed, secret FBI documents that could bring down the whole neighborhood and maybe even rewrite history. This isn't just a story about a homeowner fighting back, it's a roller coaster of betrayal, hidden legacies, and justice served cold. Stick around, because I'm not only breaking this down with my own take, but I've got some wild examples to share and lessons that'll make you rethink your own backyard. Let's dive in. The core story, a battle over dirt and deeds. So here's the gist of what went down. Our homeowner, let's call them Alex, came back from Nepal to find their backyard transformed into a makeshift cemetery by their HOA, led by a woman named Karen Thompson. Karen's excuse: Alex had been gone too long, so the HOA declared the property abandoned and turned it into a memorial garden to sell plots for cash. Shady, right? But while they were digging, they hit something big. A waterproof box under Alex's toolshed containing classified FBI documents from the 1940s, tied to Alex's grandfather, Harold Mitchell. Turns out, Harold wasn't just some random guy, he was a forensic science legend who helped build the FBI's crime-solving playbook. Those documents, they proved Alex's family owned the rights to methods the FBI had been using for decades without paying a dime. Q Agent Jackson and the feds stepping in, Karen's scheme falling apart, and Alex taking over the HOA to fix the mess. By the end, the fake graveyard's gone, a real memorial's built on community land, and Alex's property is safe. Plus, there's a hint of more secrets still buried. That's the skeleton of it, but I'm about to flesh this out with my own spin, some wild side stories, and a deep dive into what it all means. Ready? My take when HOAs turn into neighborhood tyrants. Let's start with the HOA. Look, I get it, HOAs are supposed to keep neighborhoods tidy, make sure nobody paints their house neon pink, that kind of thing. But this is next-level villainy. Karen Thompson didn't just overstep, she stomped all over Alex's rights like a dictator in a pantsuit. Turning someone's backyard into a graveyard without consent isn't community improvement, it's theft with extra steps. And the fact that she sold plots for profit, that's not an HOA president, that's a grifter in a blazer. I've dealt with my share of HOA nonsense back when I lived in a condo. They fined me $50 because my welcome mat was too colorful, but Karen's crew makes that look like child's play. What gets me is how they twisted the rules. Alex paid their bills, sent travel updates, and still got labeled abandoned. That's not a mistake, that's a calculated power grab. It's like they saw an empty house and thought, jackpot, let's cash in. And the nerve to call it a memorial garden while pocketing the money. Disgusting, but here's where it gets juicy. The FBI twist: those documents under the shed weren't just old papers, they were a legal bombshell. Harold Mitchell basically handed Alex a golden ticket to fight back, and I'm obsessed with that irony. The HOA thought they could bury Alex's rights, but instead, they dug up their own downfall. It's poetic justice, and I'm here for it. Digging deeper. The legacy of Harold Mitchell. Let's talk about Harold Mitchell, because this guy's a legend we need to unpack. The original story says he was an FBI pioneer, creating forensic methods still used today. Think fingerprint analysis, blood spatter stuff, the CSI basics. But he didn't just do the work and clock out. He was smart enough to lock down the intellectual property rights. That's gangster-level foresight. Most people in the 1940s weren't thinking about IP law, they were just trying to survive post-war life. Harold, he was playing 4D chess. I imagine him as this quiet, meticulous guy, tinkering in his shed, knowing his work would outlive him. And that warning to Alex: never move the shed, never dig there. It's chilling. Was he hiding those documents from the government, from someone else? Maybe he didn't trust the FBI to honor their deal, so he buried proof to protect his family. It's like he knew, decades later, Alex would need ammunition to fight a different kind of battle. And can we talk about the FBI owing Alex's family money? The story says payments stopped in the 1970s. Imagine the back pay. If I were Alex, I'd be calling a lawyer faster than you can say royalties. But what I love is how Alex didn't go for the cash grab. They just wanted their home back. That's integrity, and it's rare. Example 1. The Ohio Lawnmower Rebellion. This HOA mess reminds me of a story I heard from a buddy in Ohio. Picture this: a guy named Mike, retired truck driver, loved his lawn. He'd mow it every Sunday, perfect stripes, the works. But his decided lawns couldn't be cut before 9 a.m. because it disturbed the peace. Mike ignored them. 6 a.m. He's out there, mower roaring. The HOA fined him $25 a day. So what does Mike do? He starts a petition. gets half the neighborhood to sign it, and shows up to a meeting with a megaphone, blasting Sweet Home Alabama until they repeal the rule. Mike didn't have FBI documents to back him up, but he had grit. Like Alex, he faced a petty tyranny and said, "Not today." The difference: Mike's fight was loud and public. Alex's was quiet but devastating. Both prove one thing: HOAs only win if you let them. Example 2. The Texas time capsule. Here's another, one that hits close to this story. In 2018, a couple in Texas was tearing down an old barn on their property when they found a rusted metal box buried in the foundation. Inside, letters, photos, and a journal from a Civil War soldier who'd owned the land in the 1860s. The guy had hidden it there before heading off to fight, hoping his family would find it. No FBI secrets, but it was a personal treasure trove: diaries about battles, love letters to his wife, even a sketch of the farm. They didn't keep it quiet, though. They donated it to a local museum, and now it's a big exhibit kids visit on field trips. Compare that to Alex's find. Both unearthed history, but Alex's came with legal muscle. It makes me wonder how many backyards are hiding stories like these. Maybe not FBI level, but pieces of the past waiting to shake things up. Asterisk my opinions. Power, greed, and the little guy. Let's get real about Karen Thompson. She's the poster child for what happens when small-time power goes to your head. I bet she started as that neighbor who nags about trash cans, then climbed the HOA ladder, and thought she was untouchable. Selling fake graves on someone else's land isn't just greedy, it's unhinged. And her husband, Tom, he's the muscle, the guy yelling in your driveway because he knows the plan's crumbling. They're a tag team of entitlement. And I'd love to see their faces when the FBI froze their accounts. But here's what bugs me. How did the neighbors let this slide? The story mentions folks like Mrs. Fitzgerald, who bought into the memorial garden because they were grieving. I feel for her. Losing a grandson is brutal, and Karen exploited that pain. It's manipulative as hell. The community only turned on Karen when the truth hit them in the face, which says something dark about Group Tink. People will follow a bully until the consequences catch up. Alex, though, total badass. Coming home to that mess and not backing down takes guts. I'd have lost it, probably grabbed a shovel and started swinging. Alex played it smart, using the law and the FBI like a chess master. That's the little guy winning, and it's why this story hooks me. The legal angle. Who owns what? Okay, let's nerd out on the legal stuff, because this is where it gets wild. Harold's will gave Alex's family intellectual property rights to forensic methods, think patents, but for crime solving, the FBI had a license to use them, but stopped paying when Harold died. That's a breach of contract, plain and simple. If this went to court, Alex could have sued for millions, back pay, interest, the works. The FBI knew it, too. That's why they offered a deal fast. Then there's the HOA's land grab. Karen claimed abandonment under some bylaw, but Alex had proof they weren't Gongan bills paid, emails sent. In most states, HOAs can't just seize property like that without a court order. Karen's unanimous vote was built on lies and digging without permits. That's a felony in some places. Add the historical artifacts angle, and the feds had every right to step in. Karen didn't just lose, she got legally demolished. Example 3. The Florida sinkhole surprise. One more story, because this stuff happens more than you'd think. In 2020, a guy in Florida noticed his backyard was sinking. Turns out, a sinkhole opened up under his patio, and when crews investigated, they found an old moonshine still from the Prohibition-era barrels pipes. The whole setup. No one knew it was there. The previous owner had paved it over in the 50s. The guy didn't get FBI-level drama, but he did get a viral TikTok and a local news spot. Like Alex, he stumbled into history by accident. Unlike Alex, he didn't have to fight an HOA, just Mother Nature. But it's another reminder. The ground under us has secrets, and sometimes they rewrite the story. Conclusion. Lessons from the dirt. So, what do we take from Alex's saga? Here are 5 big lessons. Know your rights. Whether it's an HOA or a nosy neighbor, understand what you own and what they can't touch. Alex won, because they had the deed and the law on their side. Document everything. Emails, receipts, travel plans, keep it all. Alex's paper trail proved Karen lied, and it saved their bacon. History bites back. The past isn't dead. It's just waiting. Harold's legacy flipped the script, and your own backyard might hold surprises too. Fight smart, not loud. Alex didn't scream or threaten, they strategized. Use the system, not your fists, to beat bullies. Community isn't a buzzword. Karen faked it, Alex built it. Real community comes from trust, not power grabs. Look at Pinecrest. No gardens, museums, potlucks. That's the win. Final thoughts. A yard worth fighting for. This story's got it. All greed, secrets, justice, and a quiet hero who turned the tables. Alex didn't just save their property, they reclaimed a legacy and rebuilt a neighborhood. Karen and Tom, they're a cautionary tale. Power without principle collapses fast. And Harold Mitchell, he's the ghost in the machine, proving one person's work can echo for generations. If this hooked you, drop a like and tell me your own HOA horror stories in the comments. I know you've got to subscribe for more wild tales, and next time, we're digging into something even crazier. Oh, and check your backyard, you never know what's under there. See you soon.